Zep against that pick. Oxy also fighting B-side and in the front. Making the way down short. Quarantine sends a flash up there. The balance good for 2.
Here with the coach of G2, Josh RT. Not only a stolen map pick, but a dominant stolen map pick. Last time you saw you guys, you were very much defeated pretty heavily on Icebox. But what was the prep like between now and here, where we see a completely different, reinvigorated G2?
The prep was mostly about communication and like handling pressure. Against the Loud team, we were kind of crumbling under the pressure and like not really coordinating. Like one guy wouldn't get the memo, and there'd be constant like disconnects between the players. So that's what we worked on in the past 2 days. Just make sure we play together, support each other, and that's the result.
Well, on to your map pick. Best of luck.
Well, Liz was definitely right. G2 certainly yoinked that one away from C9. C9 looked strong out of the gate, and then, well, it just started to crumble little by little. Yeah, the pressure. It was incredible to see how G2 were able to just, you know, go toe-to-toe against C9 and then take it even further than that.
Yeah. It was quite ridiculous. When a team wins pistol and bonus on the defense side, and then there was actually pistol and bonus on the other side too, it's bonkers. But C9 were fired up at the start.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like it was going to be...
Pistol. Is it game over?
I mean, that guy's already calling game over.
Well, maybe for the other side, dude. I mean, listen, G2 was not. I was not familiar with your game.
Get into the game, man. Oh, I was fixing my in-ear shit can.
Oh, that was worth it. That was worth it.
The vibes were good.
Maybe that's what happened. You know?
That's where it crumbles. That's what the internal team dynamics out of all the pieces. But I mean, Josh RT, God bless him. He sets us up for the perfect segue talking about the pressure and the stuff that G2 have worked on, because that is the number one thing I saw that was working out for them consistently. Cloud9 would get a first kill they actually had more first kills than G2 over the course of that map, believe it or not. They were getting into an advantage position more often than not, but they couldn't convert it after that point. They were always going for these individual moments, these big swings, you know, the most American team of all time. Like, just literally give them the green card now, because G2, what he had to do was set up a couple of high-low setups.
This was such a big moment for me. Not only was it just the fact that they got the first round on the board, and it was a clutch, but it was also Icy that got the clutch.
Yeah.
And I was I was worried about him going into this game, frankly. You're going up against Oxy, who's,
for good reason,
statistically the best duelist of the regular season. Icy hasn't really had a breakout map yet. He's been touted for his place in the
Do you feel like this was a breakout map for him?
Player. Not necessarily a breakout map,
but it's what you needed to see.
It was what I needed to see. It was a good map. He played a solid game and had crucial moments like that. Another one I remember where they were executing B and he traded for Oxy, who had Raze ulted when the sides had swapped. It was Icy and G2 who were on attack. He had good moments in that game, and I was worried about his mental in a game like this. First time on a big team in the partnership league. I think it's fair to have concerns about him not showing up, but he did.
G2 also absolutely tactically outplayed Cloud9. I mean, they had defensive reclears. They had really good ideas of how to stop the flood from happening. They looked like they had a fully fleshed out strat, whereas C9 were almost flying by the seat of their pants, as they tend to fairly often. And I think,
it annoys me.
Again, just to go back, the fact that Vanity shouts across the stage, "Are you nervous?" when they're up 4-0 and then proceeds to lose almost every round after that.
You said it while we were watching. Actual psychoanalysis from Duncan said. He's a genius. He's on his phone. Projection much?
And then proceeds to lose multiple rounds in a row.
Every round.
Well, you know what? Let's actually go ahead and hear from C9, as a matter of fact, and what is going on as we get ready for map number 2. Liz, what you got?
Here with Emmy, the coach of Cloud9, a stolen map pick and a pretty resounding defeat towards you. I was listening and watching the game. It seemed like they were just very well anti-stratting you, but we were talking before, and you said that's not quite what happened. What you think happened?
I mean, I guess it's kind of anti-strat. They're just terrified of Oxy, and they're terrified to take fights, so they're not giving us any fights. And then, so our normal game, what we should be doing is just, if they're going to give us space, we should just exec on them, and that's it. But we lost some key rounds in the first half as well. But we'll come back. We always lose first map, right?
Tradition.
there's one thing we know about VCTs. We love our tradition here. But yeah, I mean, interesting take there from Coach Emmy.
I think he's very correct. It's not so much that they were running away from Oxy all the time, but in like crucial 1v1s, or not 1v1s, but like when there's a single player on Cloud9, they're always trying to double face. They're always, like jumping around corners so that you can't get free fights on them. They're not opting into the good, honest game of Valorant that Cloud9 want. Instead, they're relying on heinous things like teamwork.
And discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline.
Oh, that dang discipline. I hate it. I'll tell you right now.
We're Furia. Can they play instead? I've had enough for discipline.
Mad credit for G2. Their game plan, of course, is going to work out in that fashion when and it did. I mean, I think, Imi's holding out some hope as well that they can come back into things, but we're heading into a set.
I will say this much, though. Hearing Coach Imi say that was really funny because it's like the thing that you say when you're playing multiplayer games, like, I would have won if I would have just shot him. You know what I mean? It would have been, if they had just ran into Oxy, we would have won.
But what he was also saying was, if they're going to play like that, we have to take all the space they're giving us and then exec on them. Looking at this composition from C9, it's not an exec comp, it's a slowly take map control on your attack side.
Yeah, I mean, the Sky lets you pop flash through your own smokes when you're running the double controller. Like, if you have your Viper walls and your own Omen smokes, you can use them liberally and just, exec and push through, catch these weird timings, but
actually,
you don't have a lot.
I quite like it for C9, because I don't think they're very good at coordinating big attack side util, so having more of, like, the smokes, set up Oxy to, like, slice up the map, take some fights, but they're starting on defense anyway, and that's where they got pummeled by Furia, so let's start, first step first, win some defense rounds.
All right, well, they're going to have to do exactly just that, or else this could be a quick day for C9. They're facing elimination. Let's see if they can bounce back, force them map 3, send it back over to Vancillion Rivington for the call.
Thank you, GB. Now, yes, indeed, Map of Ascent is now on the cards, and looks like Cloud9 are bringing back a little bit of a flair from 2023 with the Sky and this Viper now into the comp. I mean, it's found a bit of success, but the single flash, I mean, Bren just talked about it. Let's see what they could do with this.
I mean, Zeppa is a lover of the Sky. If there's a chance Zeppa can play Sky, we see this guy go back to Sky. It's such a comfort, and C9 loves to have it there so they can info the map, they can control things, they can trailblaze around back through, whatever they need. You know what Sky does, but we'll see what these teams do with the compositions as they come in. C9 is bringing out a little something different than they have previously, or as of recent, I should say.
Yeah.
And we'll see if they can use it to great effect, because they need to create the momentum. They need to be more proactive on this map, and they have to turn it up to 11. We saw the quiet C9 back on Lotus, back on their pick. Can they take Ascent away from G2, with it being G2's pick? Just sitting under the one way to start things off, and a very quick shift walk up mid here with these two lurkers trying to get into position with a Sheriff and a Ghost. That's a lot of firepower coming through.
You'd see C9's buy as well. No alarm bots coming through, so you can invest double Nanostorm to try to delay on a split towards that B site and convert, or should I say, hold that swish from being tapped. And that's where G2's heading towards you. After initially defaulting around that map and inserting 2 players towards M1. The other players from G2 are moving in towards B main. And they're looking for that push.
One smoke towards Cat right now. You can see Zeppa trying to look through. The other smoke is for Spawn, since Mark is covered here by Leaf and Icy. Beautiful strat so far, but they've got to get C9 unrooted from sight.
There you go. Nanostorm prevents that switch from being hit, allowing here Moose to delay as much as he can towards that back of the side, but there's that recon dart. The armor wasn't enough to take one down with him. Oxy once again investing into a Sheriff this pistol round. Dash activated. Everybody waiting behind now for G2. B main now smoked up. Leaf coming into contact also has a Sheriff, and he falls back within the site with his teammates as they have 4 players within B. Paranoid now to answer back here on the attack that blinds the whole group of Cloud9. Finally, we start tempoing inside that site, and there is that flank coming through, weighted by Zeppa, but his teammates in the front line were all stopped, and G2 get the pistol.
We'll keep track of what Emmy said there, because how true is it that G2 gets to the sites, get where they want without getting these fights, by avoiding any of these early fights, and everything happens in the site? Can they get around Oxy? Can they get around everyone is the question. This time they did on a pistol. Again, routing the map, and then just having the Sheriff and Ghost combination mid. I mean, anybody peeks that anyways, and you're going down. So really well thought out. Ares comes out already for Trent here. They're going to start throwing out the darts immediately and adding even more pressure. 2 away, actually, for Trent on ult already.
Flash recon, that pings so many players. That's going to get G2 ready. And that's Icy with 2 picks with the Bulldog, 4 being picked up by Trent. This is, again, a continuation of that first map. Look at Trent. He's already 1 away from an ult, just like it was Lotus before. Just trying to farm him through, probably get the plant, and they'll have a Sova ult in the next round, in C9's gun round.
Good lord. And you still have the lurk from Leaf. We saw this on previous rounds when they were taking the A main control. Leaf would be coming out of C Lotus defense. And they just need the 4 members to start and hit and be confident. It is the low buy from C9, but we're really trying to make note of the confidence G2's playing with right now. I think that would be with any guns, really. Okay. There's that G2 power again, right?
Red Leaf like a book. Now falls back, and you know what it is.
Oh!
Throw away the G2 Classic.
Damn. Cold, man. Cold.
And of course, moving back here towards the A site to do some econ damage or die to Spike. For him right now, it's okay for him to die to a player because the ult's already ready for Trent after that plant. So he's trying to scout for these kills, see if there's any exits on the pulse plan into main, but decides now finally to lose his weapon out towards the garden. So G2 will get 2 rounds at this point, but you bring up a great point, right? What Imi was talking about with Liz during that halftime interview, or between maps rather. He was talking about there wasn't really too much opportunities for Oxy to fight, but at the same time now it's a different map. A map where you could be a lot more active around the defensive line, around the rotates, around working the map too on the attack once C9 has that position.
It's the little things.
The vibes are good.
It's the little things. Now we've got them where we want them. All right. Hunter's Fury is up, but Cloud9 bring the arsenal here for the bonus round. Start moving towards middle. 4-1 split. So looking to get that arrow over as they just throw through or go through tree into sight. There it is.
Recon dart, Hunter's Fury also to clear out the space, knowing that you have a lower buy and you could close the gap now with the stingers on your bonus. Well done here, connects onto Vanity, but Vanity was able to drop one before he falls. Oxy trying to find an opening here through the smoke as his dash is about to dissipate. Icy gets that pick onto Zeppa though. Rudy's still in the back of that site towards Helen. Icy's doing a great job now on the entering, containing here the attack position of G2 on this A side, and instantly both players remaining of C9 will fall back, live to fight another round.
I mean, we just mentioned it. G2 would do the same pressure with a lower buy even if C9 had one, and they do that. They go right through, fearless towards tree with the ultimate for Hunter's Fury. Everything set up so well from the first few rounds here to make this first bonus round just torture for C9, and now just hiding behind the util. Hopefully saving these Vandals. A lot of points for an ult here from Leaf. So Leaf is just hunting.
So good there to invest that Hunter's Fury here on the attack on the bonus. Because not only you're creating space for that gap to be closed for that lower buy that you have, but with the kills that you're getting, that's free upgrades for the next round too.
Instant pickups.
So G2 will have rifles to work with. Won't have to invest too much rather into the next round. While C9 will have once again a look of a broken buy. 2 rifles saved from that previous round. I mean, look at that. Paranoia 2 on top of it. There was just too much util coming out from G2 on that 4-1 split that you mentioned, Rude.
That is wild stuff. Wild stuff they're able to catch with that Hunter's Fury. Especially full right side sight. Because you knew the team was pushing the C9 in. So really heady by Trent to know where those members could be due to his players pushing in. Big B main push here. C9 look to get control of the map, but just like Lotus, G2 are choosing the other side, causing a full retake situation here for C9 once again.
Yeah, looking at the beginning of the round here, Zeppa just threw a flash over to Lotto. It did get contact into G2. And for C9, I was hoping for, after that flash contact, to let G2 know we were potentially stacking towards this A site, come at us towards B. But once again, a great read here from Valen to continue to press forward and just tempo up. Well, Oxy is now at the point on that retake. Leaf is just waiting there. Trade comes out from Rooney. That's a weapon to get picked up. They have a chance now to at least take control of A main, where there's only Jonah P behind.
Well, paranoia usage if they can get that over towards Jenny. Can't play off it really. Doesn't hit too much in sight. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, they threw it towards the generator and it was there to crossfire against his teammates too. And I don't think Vanity could do a joggable right here with the Omen skin. And that's G2. 4 unanswered rounds now on Ascent. Wow.
I still can't get over that.
What a good read
cute.
here so far.
Why is it so
They
cute?
continuously play to the soft site. They instantly get to the front door before they're hitting. And even before C9 hits, they're finding themselves numbers down here, which makes it even tougher. I mean, who do you want most of all to be breaking in?
We have the best team in the world.
Damn. Who do you know? Who do you want to be breaking into the site? Oxy. What if Oxy goes down mid-round? It's so much harder to walk into that site. Everybody shoulder to shoulder, swinging at the right face. All right. This wall now preventing a lot of the A movement. If C9 want to start defending or flashing through towards that side, but it's towards B again. You're going to hear Killjoy utility. Just Icy has ultimate here. But they're fully focusing this. Everybody in B main here. It'd be different if they went out for a full re-hit, so C9 should be good to defend.
And the shot guards are looking to break the alarm bots, and should I say a nanoswarm, but they're set out inside this B site for the drop so that Moose can try to get a spray behind it. But little do they know now that G2 is moving in towards that staircase. Moose does get that pick from the back of the site, which is great here to allow C9 to have those 2 players to start fighting from the spawn. He's just waiting for the drop call, and there it is. Pulls it at the beginning, does some damage. There's that flood back from the spawn side, but denied by Trent once again. Moose in the back, and Trent gets 3 in the round for him. Wow. Great entry from the Silva play from Trent. Owl Drone to get information too. They can take their time at this point to spot the last 2 players in the front of the shed. Double ping from the Owl Drone too. That's just unlucky now for C9 on the attempt of the retake. All 3 players stuck inside the site for G2, and they could play the time now. Rooney and Vanity just looking to spray. Silver lining is his paranoia. Maybe that could do some work. Double bounce through. Jonah P closes the gap. Vanity gets the pick. 4 kills in a round. Trent cannot get the ace. Rooney gets the last 2 picks. And heroic plays from Vanity and Rooney to give C9 the first round.
More than you really may know, Cloud9. These retakes are becoming so difficult. They have trouble identifying where G2 is. So to get this one, pull a little economy back and pull some momentum in away from G2 after they just completely stomped through the site. Incredible for C9. It took a lot. It's going to still take a lot. But that's one on the road back here to get us to 4-4. All right. Hunter's Fury and Bladestorm up here for Icy Trent. You know, Zeppa's Seekers, if they really need to figure out where the map is going, if they lose the state of the game here in round 6.
Get out of my way.
Still got a judge for Vanity. They're trying to low buy, but keep the buys going. Bulldog for Zeppa. And you have the full arsenal over for G2. See how much avoiding they can do now.
With the combo you have now for C9, you had to be fairly active around the map, especially when these smokes are coming through. So it's not really on Sky and Flash to try to get info down towards middle, because that's just one of the default things you kind of do here for the attack side of this map of Ascent. So use the dog now to clear out. Smokes are being thrown, and then you see the rotate from Oxy, rather. That started at the beginning, at the back of the spawn, and he spotted one jumping off the fountain.
Seekers out.
Very early. Very early to see them now pivoting towards this A sign. Those 2 players that the Seeker spotted on the top of middle. Yet nobody's rotating out right now to help out Cloud9's line of defense towards this A site. Second flash now confirms it with 40 seconds left. The only thing they have left for util for a retake now is a paranoia from Vanity.
The site's already horizontally split, and they're in.
Dash comes through.
Second Hunter's Fury.
Seconds left.
But no contact on that second Fury. Oxy gets that pick though onto Icy. Shock darts coming through from the top of the entrance of the A side. Updraft trying to stay alive, and he does. Valen dropped out to the spawn. Jonah P wins that fight against Vanity on the top of a tree. The rest of C9 looking to fight back, but they don't have that paranoia to work with anymore. Oxy trying to lean out and comes head-to-head against Trent. Drops down towards that site to find information, and he will do. A crossfire setup from Jenny and from Hell, but the shots are coming in. The kills are coming in for E2 as they have a great round here on the post plant in round number 6 of Ascent.
Pushing forward, creating pressure. I mean, we even see C9 getting out of a few of these situations, but almost never standing in the ground they want to be in. Then we get a little more freedom, get a little more time to set up a play. But no, G2 continues to pressure. They continue to throw util in the face of C9. And we can see how fast C9 almost has to do these retakes. We just talked about it on B a second ago. With the composition C9 has, they don't have the benefit to throw a Sova dart into the site here. It's the Skydog. And then you have to swing off the Skydog to how many possible angles in sight? Jenny, Dice, still people under. 2 on A main, either side. Maybe switch if it's not cleared. So it's just C9 has so many things that have to overcome that G2 is throwing in their face. That knowledge of Sova, having the flashes from Jonah P wherever they want with the knowledge of the 0.2. G2 is getting all these reads, and that's why it's making it so easy to know where C9's coming from and how many.
Almost at this point here to calm things down off the timeout from Mimi for Cloud9. Well, I think here you want to get an off as soon as possible for Cloud9 to shut one of those lines of the offensive that G2 could take, right? So you could delay a little bit more with the Viper that you come out with this composition or Cloud9 in this matchup. You could actually have more players stacked together to play for these trades, find those fights that they were looking for here from the first map. It'll start off with a Sheriff, a lower buy that you have for Cloud9. 2 Sheriffs in hand actually for Rooney and for Oxy, and they could do some damage with this. Both of them in the front of the B main where G2 are looking to tempo up or maybe play the contact, just depending on recon dart potentially to come out first. And there's that front side. Now it's being activated. Shot missed, but does get information there for Oxy. There's an attacker lockdown being placed by G2. A knife towards the back of the site, knowing that nobody's going to be falling back into that location. Everybody's falling back towards the spawn. Yeah, Zeppa still gets a pick with the classic build. That's a great start for C9 and the lower buy that they have.
Planted easy. Now they have to have at least a few different hits. Vanity's going to TP the back of the site or somewhere to be tricky here.
If they get some picks for sure. But at this point now, G2 is playing forward. They don't want to give a chance here for Moose to use a lockdown at the boat. And for the Sheriffs to activate. Snake bite towards the log, but mistimed. As Vanity swung out before, and Elite for that gets 2 easy kills. And doesn't give a chance for C9 to get anything off their eco.
I figure maybe just to scramble the mini map and pull back and go with Zeppa, right? Something to allow this utility to hit, the members to come in a little unseen. But they hold the ults. Still a lot of time to use them at 6-1. Boop. Oh my gosh. Check him.
One enemy remaining.
A nice cleanup by Leaf from Lumber there.
Peek him, peek him.
Let's go, Nathan!
Let's go, Nate.
Damn. The full name. You know he's happy.
Yeah, Valor knows that. Or picked up here on the attack. KOL instantly invested by Jonah P. He was swarming inside the site, and Oxy. They wanted him to be able to fight. He tried to, couldn't dash away down to now 9 HP.
He's got to be calling for an overgrowth, right? Heal me, heal me.
Can't right now because of the null command. But at least C9 gets 2 picks coming through. Plant now coming down for G2 as we overextended towards that spawn. Confident in the plays. The lurks denied. The retake clean for Cloud9. Not needing anything of that util in the end. Blow for blow they go, and Cloud9 takes the upper hand out of that one to get the second in the half.
Nice recovery there. I want to say recover, but movement. Understanding where G2 wanted to go and being able to meet them first. I think that's the first time we've seen that too. A lot of these fights, C9 might have gotten one, but then the round is just G2 completely set up in sight. Here, G2 is still looking for kills. They got strung out a little bit, looking for those fights, and C9 hit their shots on a very hot G2 right now. That's going to be 2. We get now to round 9. That's 2 defuses the way that C9 have had to get these rounds, and they have been pretty tough, all things considered. The last one, the easier of the 2. So quick pickup. As util move back over towards A. Gonna be able to slightly hold it with Moose and Zeppa for now, and they focus again 3 towards B. Okay. That's the one you're like, why does he keep spamming? Why'd he stop? Great first kill.
Great first kill, which also puts Oxy back in a rotating towards the spawn, so he can watch here towards Market. There's no Lombard there because C9 has the full setup here towards the A site. That's where G2's heading to start. Updraft dash forward from IC. Cloudburst on the ground. Trying to clear out, find some space, breaks the turret. Instant lockdown being put down on the defense, so they don't want user for the retake. They want to delay as much as they can.
And I think it's super smart by C9 too. A lot of tree control has come from G2 to not even want to put the lockdown in tree. They put it in spawn, but Trent starts off with the Odin.
And Valen 2 onto Oxy. That's Bladestorm down, but just around the door, it's Zeppa by the switch. A flash now, second kill into IC. Combination with the snake bite from Rooney placed onto the site. Spike is now down, last 2 players in the front. Pop flash coming through, and that's Rooney trading the last kill.
I feel like we've been seeing a lot of Rooney in these last few ones when the round ends. A third one for C9 is G2. We're getting a little too fast for themselves, and C9 is absorbing it very well. Again, great call, thinking of how G2 has been playing. C9 look for the lurk, then they place the lockdown differently, knowing tree control has been a very high priority for G2. Everything plays out really well, and another nice little crossfire here is send G2 home on round 9. 3-6 now. Odin for Vanity gets pulled up. I was gonna wonder when they play the Odin, it gets a kill off it right away.
And the second one from Oxy. There's that op that they wanted right away. To Kaneko. A second round updraft. Oh, wow. But he's getting spammed and hit by a molly. Traded instantly, and an opportunity for somebody else for C9 to take the mantle of the op if they want to. But look at this poor position you have while this spray is coming through. Moose has taken all control of top mid, and we'll be able to hear the rotate.
The rounds on Lotus that they won, Moose was all the way out. C9 had the map read, and they play so much more confident. I mean, look at this already on the other side of the wall for C9.
But Zeppa's alone if they clear it correctly, but they don't. It's traded out, and there's that backside from Moose. Trades it out, and there's only one left, Jonah B. On a 1 versus 2, 31 HP. Rooney to look to pull that wall down. Jonah P couldn't spot him. Neither did Rooney. Plays the angle, and there's that gun sticking out. Vanity with the Odin kill in the first one and the last one. Finally closing the gap also of G2's lead.
I like that they also throw the Odin in there. We spoke about C9 not having the Sova before, and it's almost like a bread and butter for teams here to at least have that spam, that knowledge of B main. So do you lose the spam altogether? No. Vandy still brings it back, knows the lineup, and it's chip damage you should have if you're gonna have the money to put an Odin in. Spam B main pays off big time here. Nice job by C9 to pull another round in their favor. They're getting off the post plants. They're getting into map control. We're seeing the map now be won by C9 before G2 gets to the site. So definite improvement. And you called for it, Vans. They finally got the investment in there. It's the operator for Oxy.
And realizing it right away here for G2, they call the instant timeout as well after losing that round. And despite having a lot of economy to work with, still have a healthy buy coming onto their end. But this is what, the third Hunter's Fury that Trent has for the half, and maybe they want to utilize that into creating that space once again, or maybe trying to find that double initiative to play to figure out where Oxy could be playing and do the same storyline as Lotus, try to avoid it and work somewhere else around the map.
All right, Trent on a low buy for this one with the Hunter's Fury, and it looks like they might do a bit of the same strat. You see Trent setting up for that up the gut already for Tree. Just a little hold here to start off with Icy. Icy gets Bladestorm on one orb if they move up. Balance close. Nobody really on deck here for the side of Cloud9 for ultimates. But they've been enjoying this kind of 3-2 split. Keeping Oxy over to B to start and then rotate off if they don't get an initial hit, which is instantly what they're doing heavily towards A now. Oh my word. They're almost considering if it's too fast, but they stayed decisive on this one. They're going to let Vanity be able to TP over if they need him.
Oh, gets caught here while he drops off the box. That's a 1-for-1. There's that Hunter's Fury. A little bit too late, though. That allows here Oxy to get that pick into main. A ping onto 2. With the third beam of that Hunter's Fury, Trent only has a Sheriff. Let's move in somehow and then find a weapon. It's towards Hell. Cover it first. There's that plant, which means that both G2 players might have to play within the site towards Hell. Counter paranoia out from Valen, and the goal drop. Not given a chance to set up. And off the timeout, not finding any success either for G2 as Cloud9 now scores the 5th.
It does seem like one of the C9's map 1 down day, and now they're waking up. This an absolute change in play from them. They're behind each other on these swings. They're more confident in the position of the util use they're asking and supporting each other with. And yeah, see the retake just swinging through, knowing they have people coming from the top side and the bottom. And C9 are starting to get a little bit of that map read, and again, it helps with the operator, knowing once that Oxy's off a line and it's clear, put him on the next line. If that's clear, you pretty much know where they're going. See again. Smoke top mid, trying to delay G2 into this pressure. And they'll get alerted very early. Cloud9 want more info if they go for this tree position again.
And it's Moose alone. Now also in a position where he can't really escape, so he's going to have to anchor it up. But it looks like G2 wants to pass out here towards the garden. There's that flash towards heaven. It actually blinds Icy, forces the fallback. Backstab though onto Moose. Never caught him. Nice second one there onto Rooney and avoids the dog. What? Jumping up towards the air, dashing away. Door looking to get broken, but a big advantage for G2 now. Has a lockdown as well for the pulse plan is G2. As Leaf is holding towards the A main, instantly pops it right after as the plant comes down. Turret now being broken, contact in the front, contact also towards generator, but it's G2 still holding their grounds in the pulse plan, leaving Oxy and Zeppa. The last two players now for Cloud9 on the top of heaven, waiting for that lockdown to dissipate, and finally it does, but it's just too much spray to happen. Finally Zeppa tries to make a play, but that's the only play he's going to be able to make. Again, a 7-5 scoreline here on the second map this time on Vicent.
The one member of G2 down that round, Icy, praise for him that round. What a nice round. The confidence in a young player to go forward, not being thrown off by the guiding light, knowing he had to keep playing forward for sight first, and then the wherewithal to turn around and get the other defenders that were coming. Super smooth play.
Well, a great first half right now, once again, of Ascent. Let's toss it down to the desk to break it down.
Thank you so much, fellas. And gotta say, it started off really, really positively for G2, but good to see Cloud9 fighting back, and they managed to bring this one up to a 7-5 conclusion. Still looking good for G2. But I gotta say, one player that we have been focusing on, you know, maybe not on the pre-show, but we were throughout the stage, was Icy. He's been a guy that we needed to see a little bit more output out of Bren, and I would say we gotten exactly that here.
Yeah, I think we were asking the question of who's going to shut down players like Oxy when they get going. Now, you know, I think Cloud9's problems haven't really been in that direction where Oxy hasn't been popping off necessarily, but my God, the discipline's been there, and it's enabled Icy so well, I think, over the course of this series so far.
He's also just been capitalizing on the first fights that he's taking by getting the kills and hitting the shots, capitalizing by literally not missing. He is getting the kills that he needs to be getting for the team. And it was the reason at the beginning, it looked like this was just going to be a wash. Oh, it looked, we're running away with this. Not like we haven't seen that on Ascent in a Cloud9 game before. They've gotten just totally torn to shreds twice now, and it looked like it was going to be the third, but already, just for this first half, they have more rounds than they got against Furia.
They pulled it back. They have pulled it back in the second half of it, and they've made it potentially winnable for them, and to stay in this series and to stay in this playoff run as well. I mean, you got to think and imagine, this is Cloud9's lifeline right now, and this is their last chance to do something, to make their mark, to extend it into that map 3.
Yeah. I'm interested in seeing how they're going to work the map on attack here with the Sky. You can expect the Viper wall to be cutting mid in half, so you can walk up without needing a recon or, you know, a close Sova.
I was going to ask about compositions.
With no Sova, the common thing I always see tripping up teams when they try and run a no Sova comp on Ascent is when the defensive team gets an op online. So it's all about that. I mean, G2 have a 2-round buffer right now. If they win the pistol as well, get the economy going, it's going to be really tough for Cloud9. Pistol is a must-win.
I was thinking the same thing, but Icy doesn't really op all that much, so it might not be a problem.
All right, well, let's see if Cloud9 can keep themselves alive here. Send it back to the casters.
Thank you so much, GB. Great toss. Don't laugh about it. That was actually quite clean.
Beautiful.
But yeah, second half now coming into play. Cloud9 on the attack. And again, coming with an interesting composition that they've pulled in the past with a different team. Are also going to try to leverage this with a single initiator. A Sky Flash to find first contact. Walking through towards the mark. And that's 3 players of G2. Looks like the plan was red and ready. Belief with 3 right clicks.
He gave the G2 Classic. Oh my gosh. No way.
That was insane, as now the plant comes down for Cloud9 at least.
Spike planted.
And that was a big mistake here that came through from C9 when they had such a great opener. An opportunity now for Leaf and VALORANT to close it out. Both players on either ends have ghosts in hand, but more util with these smokes coming out from VALORANT. As they look towards the spawn, into the dice, they spot Moose to start things off, and Moose tries to delay at first with the nanoswarms. There's those 2 smokes going towards that back, forcing the players out in the open for Cloud9. First contact being Rooney, denied by VALORANT. Dropped in the spike, a wraparound. Moose on a 1 versus 1. Spike now tapped, now off it. VALORANT trying to run around as Moose is playing the clock in his favor. Chasing him down, hunting him down, and there's no time left. Moose dances away and gets around here to Cloud9.
That'll be the first time I've ever seen a Moose dance. Incredible stuff coming out of Moose there. LMS to the max, continuously dancing around the box to keep it going, time it out. And C9 are able to pick up a very important pistol round after this. Oh my gosh.
Usually in those moments, there's at least one click that does only 130 or so. You know?
Today is honestly just the day of classics across the region.
120, yeah.
Incredible stuff. All right, we're into the second round. We do Spectre by 2 Vandals here for C9. Better keep this long range. You don't want to meet the death ball of G2 waiting at A main right now. Still a Sheriff in there for Leaf, as obviously there was a bit extra money in the bank from the 3 kills. That beautiful classic hat trick. And C9 play it towards mid here. Looks like they just want to open up the center of the map again.
Timing on that one too. Vanity was watching towards that orb and tries to find.
They hear him running too.
Very smart play though for him to fall back instead of re-peeking through, because G2 were walking out for the contact. And that might give now a possibility here for Cloud9 to just take over this B site.
Huh. I think Vanity just made run steps towards that smoke, and now he goes spawn, holding him in market, but doesn't do enough.
Yeah.
They're still in.
That's it. It's a death ball moving through, right? And then you have one person watching that flank this time around. Moose might get caught. That's a Vandal, though, giving up.
It is.
And look at it. You already have Oxy going back towards that A site at the beginning. He was thinking that potentially one of those players would save that rifle into the next round. And then as they finally notice here that the action stayed very calm towards B main with no contention, Oxy's going to go on that hunt here to take that weapon away, or try to take that weapon away from Jonah P.
Slowly going. I like that they divvied this up. They said, well, Blade Storm's pretty cool. Go get that. Try to get more alt orbs online. All right, so this one's going to fizzle out. Icy actually does get one onto Vanity. Nice. Tags Rooney, but he's not going to be able to do enough. Oh, there it is. Little shot in the body.
Ends up being a great eco, actually, for G2 in the end when those shots weren't landing from Vanity against Icy, and then also Oxy losing his weapon against Jonah P in front of Gelato.
So that's another Guardian they have to purchase up. You just rewatch this one again. A good push in.
Oops.
Cloud9 getting 2 to bring us back to even here. So now at round 15, let's see if Oxy's going to do Oxy things. Like we said, back down on the Guardian. By here, Odin for Trent. They're going to set up in that tried and true Sova Killjoy towards the left side of the map, toward B. And now the alt orb games begin. Seems like they will slow it down and try to play this one way.
Read that like a book, just sprays when a Strode came out and gets that kill onto Oxy. And talking about it, this could have been a pretty decent bonus round for Cloud9 when they had 2 Vandals to work with. Make that even 3 that they purchased, and now only has 2 Stingers with Oxy dying, now only 1 left with only 1 Vandal, so this is going to be tougher here for Cloud9 to convert.
I think it's G2 catching C9 when they're sleeping a little, right? That's a setup we all know. You get ready, you TP, you both peek, and there's just a moment for a mistake. VALORANT catches it. They're ready for C9 to be trying everything in the book right now, it seems. And now backing up to anchor site a little bit more with that high-low just over VALORANT as he's on dice. This B main control can get funky real quick, too, for Leaf. There it is.
Now with the wall, too, and the flash came across, instant spray that gives information there that his player sports tree after Jonah P threw that flash. Also gets that pick. Trades coming through, 1 player left. And Jonah P's finding some footing here in this defensive half for G2.
And that big pickup Vandal comes up with a few frags for the round 2. So a little return on investment. for going searching in the last few rounds. All right, pulling up the bonus. This means C9 can still fire back, and Icy's going for the operator. We will have to see if Oxy ever decides to bring one out. It's not really his wheelhouse, but sometimes you need to hold the hard angles. Here, I think the attack side, they just want to go full forward. Blade Storm in 3, Zeppa's ult in 2. We'll get back into this round, and not too many close ones for G2 just yet, as we get pop flashes to tiles and a lot of mid control off the bat. Look at this, TPing right out into danger, and then back just to put something else on the docket.
And a tempo is Cloud9.
Oh my
Move
God.
out here towards his B side. Paranoid towards the market. Oxy trying to get an opener. Double flash coming through. Snake by now keeps the players of G2 at bay.
Okay.
Inside the market, giving a chance now for them to move inside B. It's a 1-for-1. Oxy trades it out for Vanity as they allow here Cloud9 to get that plant inside this B side. All players of G2 back towards the spawn. Have an op in the hands of Icy. Might be a difficult retake on their end, but at least they have the Odin now from Trent.
There we go. This is what we're looking for. A little flashy dashy. They're in sight. Now it's going to be the operator retake, which makes it that much harder if you're stuck in this choke point. Dashes in, one goes down, the veil and drops.
And they know there, the dash came across, and that's Icy holding the op in hand. And Oxy's going to try to find him. Second flash coming through from the spawn. It's a 1-for-1. Make that a 2-for-1.
Can he get out?
At this point, he will. All three players of C9 staying towards that back of the site. A round will come in for Cloud9 as this second half now looks to be going back and forth between Cloud9 and G2.
The operator, now that they know it's out, is going to be a big factor in how C9 approaches this. They've really been going towards mid, controlling, I think, without a lot of smokes, too. In those early rounds, they were deathballing. We'll see if that changes at all. Great push up and pressure here, knowing they could try and get a few off of G2 as they entered the site and not allow G2 this really strong retake and freedom at that top spot of site. All right, 3-2 split on the defensive side for G2. They don't change too much, but they do put Jonah P over towards the left side as C9 are ready to focus A here. Seekers, Blade Storm, could be another fast hit.
So G2's doing the same thing as C9 and they'll revive. 3 players stacked up here towards this B side. As Icy is trying to opt into the tree. Bucky's close. Seekers are trying to clear out the area. Updraft in the air. Easy one moving forward. And there's Icy dashing away. Able to save his op for now.
Clearing the smoke.
Popping the shots inside the smoke just to make sure that his teammates could cross. And that's a clean one now for C9.
Literal cover fire right now as C9 go in. They're hitting so fast. A little shocking on though is you cannot stop too much, especially with Oxy starting it in a shotgun war that's turned into knives. Wine covered by Moose. G2 looking to move in here. And his operator probably going to get saved again.
Odin now up for grabs. Oxy's close. Blade in the chest. The second one to Jonah P to drop him. Close range against Leaf. The dash forward. Oh. He doesn't want to play the games with Leaf. Aggressive, moving in. And you're starting to see the kills starting to get collected here by Oxy. Able to take the driver's wheel and take the map into his favor.
Yeah.
And bring those fights wherever he wants now, and he's getting these picks.
And I don't blame Icy for where they're putting him. They got him online at B once, tried to hit that.
Yeah.
They got to Cat, and what has C9 been doing? Going mid a bit, trying to pressure the middle of the map. So Cat didn't work because they all went A. They are avoiding Oxy so well. And Amy was right.
They can't stop what's coming, bro. They can't stop what's coming.
They're avoiding Icy at this point, I should say, not Oxy. Oxy's getting all his kills. You're right, it is. Oxy, Icy, it's an easy one to mess up. Jeez. Okay. Odins are still there. The operator back of A now, as it looks A main, so it's third spot, and it is still going to be choosing the wrong angle for now. Spamming coming through, just a bit of chip damage. Jonah takes some as well to the backside, but they're going to be all right for the fight to come here. Still very split across the map. So they're going to go, I think, for a fake commitment here off the lockdown.
This has already been read pretty much, right? You saw the knife at the beginning being thrown out and actually hit 3 players. And actually, it's the spray of the Odin that breaks the lockdown. So badly placed there by Moose, not giving a chance here for Cloud9 to set up a fake. They're going to double fake at this point. The TP coming in from Vanity. Shot now missed by Icy, forced to fall away. And as they're trying to make noise on this side, they haven't really committed yet. trying to make noise back towards this A side. The smoke dissipates. The double peek out through the smoke. 1 versus 1 against Jonah P. Now they're here to rotate towards this A side. Even a spike's moving through. Oh, this is going to look difficult now. The rest of C9 towards the A side have to move up quick here while this plant is coming down. And Oxy's still able to find some space and getting the pick off onto Leaf. Give me a chance right now for C9 to work around that map. But now it's all up to Rooney alone inside that site. The opportunity, the window of opportunity now for G2 to try to win that fight against him. Underhand flash to try to clear it. Still the walk for the flank from Vanity. Rooney wins that fight. Very well done in the end.
Oh my gosh. You see how separated Cloud9 had G2 on that round.
So dangerous.
That was wild. G2 was pushing forward like, wait, there's got to be more, right? No, it's just Rooney in the back because C9's still trying to play the fake across the map and get back from it. It's just they were everywhere, inserted wherever they could be here, and at the right moment, they got back to B to help Rooney out. But man, just imagine what G2's thinking, seeing all these members of C9 come from different spots and just getting torn apart as they try to recover. Well, they have some ultimates here. They can use. Timeout's going to be called by G2, so they can sort out how to do that, maybe get that slow the game down comeback in, because things are just getting all out of sort here as C9 get onto the attack side and start throttling G2.
I mean, just in that previous round, it really looked like G2 had that perfect read because when that knife actually hit the 3 players towards B main, Zeppo wasn't there. So you usually think, okay, there's usually a flash behind Oxy to try to create some space. There's got to be some double punks, but it came down to just C9 winning fights on both extremities, and now it just became a round where C9's like, oh, well, the hell do we do from here? Thankfully, though, they do convert the round for Cloud9, forcing the timeout for G2. And off this timeout, maybe trying to leverage something off this lower buy that they have. I mean, they still have a hero rifle in the hands of Icy. He's going to pull out a Vandal here at this point.
Yeah, I think this actually helps G2. It'll allow them play with each other more. It'll allow Icy to be in the front of the play and not the back of the play. So the utility is now for Icy and not just everyone to get into the site and take shots. That's what you want your Jet doing, especially if Oxy's going to be playing hard like that. C9's always just going to avoid the operator and go for the fast plays with him. All right, Valen gets pushed up, turret down. So C9 have to watch their back a little bit more, as G2 are just trying to be a nuisance here on this lower buy. Little check.
Was Stinger shots also being heard towards B main when that turret got broken. So for Cloud9, they're just trying to default it back, trying to find the better information. The dog actually did spot Leaf, so they know now that Killjoy utilities towards this A site and that the Stinger potentially is just something that's weaker here towards B.
This setup for C9 is wild.
Yeah, exactly.
Just spread out.
Yet they still want to try to fight here on a 2-2 split from C9 on this default. There you go, you start seeing them falling back. Forcing down G2 to make a play, trying to go and look for information. Now they spot Icy towards that back of the site. Oh no, they're still going for it. After finally, the players falling down towards A main, that's Zeppa. And then also Rooney saying, okay, let's finally fall back now towards this B site. Moose has not gotten control of B main throughout all of this time, so they have to start making a lot of noise and will run through uncertainty. Shots missed, but Balance there with that Stinger. Players falling down now for Cloud9. Owl drone from Trent does get that ping onto Rooney, and the crossfire is too good. 10 seconds left, a thrifty round in favor of G2.
I'm not sure if C9 really was just giving G2 a little bit too much respect there, thinking maybe after a timeout, G2 is going to do something so wild, we have to spread out and figure out what it is. Because at one point, there were solo members of C9 all across the map. And yes, they did come together, they got back into a pile, but they still had no information of what was going on. And the few of them still got disjointed in that collection.
Yeah, they came back together once they lost 2 players and gave guns towards A main though.
That's tough. That is a tough one. I think C9 got in their own head there, thinking G2 was going to do some wild timeout strat, and really, they just held true in the sights. All right, back into it, 10-9. Leafs ultimate easily deter a take towards B. They have not put him towards A really whatsoever this half. They feel comfortable in the Sova Killjoy setup on B side, anchoring towards this right. Because now they have Jonah P coming back to site. Good lurk here in mid by Moose. C9's missing this the last few rounds, so they'll be able to get the info they need when the rotation happens and if they can go back for a re-hit.
Toxins going up.
It would be a big win con there for Cloud9 if they decide to do that, to activate that lurk, because if they try to put a pit down, they still have a lockdown to play against for G2. Now, the only piece of util that allows for you to scout for information just got picked off here towards the A site. You got information on one, and they're looking to explode here potentially with the second smoke coming through. There's that paranoia. Nobody's gonna get blinded so far. Valid and Icy with that crossfire through the door. Rooney and Vanity, though, are trying to fight back. Spike not picked up. There's that lurk. Read by Jonah P. Wow. And Vanity now alone.
30 seconds
1
left.
versus 3. Lockdown at the ready. Might be used now by Leaf. Vanity will have to play inside the site for now, trying to find an opportunity to get a pick. No more TP to come across, so he's going to try to walk out. And as he walks out, just got spotted. Looks back towards the sky. Trent is there with the Odin. Detained. It's over.
That's one way to secure the round for sure. Get him to 11. Or get him to 10 rather. G2 locked down on just 1. Just for Vanity. Making him feel special. See if that comes back to bite him a bit. I mean, you for sure want that round, and you for sure want to be able to kick out C9's economy and where they're at, but that is a heavy investment for what could have been a triple swing. Okay. Timeout getting called by Cloud9 now. That was a huge round from Valen, especially in the back of the site, knowing that Oxy is going to go right for Jenny there. Beautifully calculated. The turnaround to kill Moose by Jonah P. A lot of the timing on that round was in G2's hands, and they used it beautifully. Defuse comes through. And now we'll see the score all tied up, rather, as this timeout is finishing up for C9. So Amy's coming back in, trying to organize what the team can do. They do not have a lot of ults coming online, but they will have to face a few from G2, and they have to keep the momentum here. This is going to be the 3rd loss for C9, so that's a low buy to no buy. Maybe Zeppa's going to have a gun if they don't win this round. So we'll see what they can put up.
Yeah, losing at Thrifty for Cloud9 is huge there. A huge momentum swing for G2. As when we mentioned that lower buy that G2 had, the 3 ults that they had in the ready were the Hunter's Fury, the Null Command, and the Lockdown. Now they have still 3 ults to work with because they kept the Hunter's Fury in their hands. And now they have like the Econ ult, the Money ult, or the Money Economy and the Money Advantage. So it's tough now for C9. Again, backs against the wall, losing the first map 6-13. This is a do or die. C9 losing this map. They only get to play again during the stage 2. Trying to look at a wallbang early at the beginning of this round. Just from the spawn into the B main. There's a little bit of pop damage there onto Rooney, who decides to fall back with the rest of his team towards this A site.
Valen can play real tricky here and from the shadows out if it gets too dangerous. I like to play towards wine. Easy TP out though, so can hold the ultimate. G2 is playing safe towards A. It's going to be the dash in from Moxie again.
Yeah, the timeout's trying to get that paranoia out into the Jenny. But the crossfire is always too good now as Dicey goes over the updraft in the air. Hunter's Fury out on the defense. Advantage for Cloud9. Does get a bit of damage. At least on the hold to start things off for G2. Force now players to go on a re-heal. Beautiful pit now. That's the size of Texas. I'll try to get this plant down.
Creeping in.
Oh, the counter there. The alert from Moose. Advantage for Cloud9.
The Cloud9 lurks have been really a big impact for them coming in from Moose, whoever is on the outside at this time, whether it's info or how the team is hitting the site, and those final few kills that they're getting from that lurk. Pull it back into their favor. We just said that was a big money round for Cloud9. So important that they win this. And what do? They go back to default hits on A, having Oxy dash in, where this team is strong, with Oxy creating chaos, breaking crosshairs, and people following with utility. Sometimes go back to the basics, and that's what we got from C9 out of the last few to make sure they're able to collect these rounds, and now in the lead. Rooney taking a bit of chip. Not really worse for the wear there. And it's quiet for now as they cut audio and get this rotation back in from Vanity. Moose again on that slight lurk towards mid, and they just flip the side of the map. Very default hit towards B here is what it looks like.
Yeah, at the beginning of the round, you saw C9 creating that same condition towards that A site for the flash, and now pivoting towards B main. The full team hit with a late lurk from Moose once again onto middle later on. Dash coming through from Icy inside the spawn from the B site, or vice versa. And Icy gets the second one on the board. Vanity drops. Icy is praying for more kills here. He's trying to hunt it down towards the top of the staircase inside that market. Big push coming in towards that spawn, and that's Moose on the lurk, gets denied. And giving you a chance now for G2 to close down and close out this round. And now both and last players are pinned between all 4 players of G2. Nothing really that Rooney could do in the end. There's that push up from Icy, the confidence coming out. The spike out in the open.
Poison orb emitting.
Hangs on it too. Doesn't just want to give the kill away.
I mean, that's an important weapon. Look at the buy that you have from C9 or the money that's left since that buy at the beginning of the round. And trying to go for the explosion towards that B site was quite denied there by Icy's dash from the spawn.
Super spicy Icy on that one. To actually come in and kill Oxy first too. In that duelist trade, it seals the deal on it being the right play and what Icy's trying to orchestrate right now for his team as the duelist. Both young duelists here putting up a lot of good frags. So smart. When it was called too to make that timing to say I'm gonna get in fight either with a few people or by myself with one other, and he was ready to take any fight that came. Really awesome stuff to see from that player from Icy coming in strong. 11-11 now. Probably didn't think we were gonna go back and forth in rounds, but here we are, and the lower buy is going to C9 at this point as this economy gets thrown back and forth. Round 23. Yoden's still out for lead. Jonah P getting a good kill on Vanity.
Almost feels like the jump was heard and he just sprayed inside that smoke. Objective there for C9 was just to try to get the orb there for control, and unfortunately now with the process, they lose an important piece of that composition of smoke to try to go for the execution for Cloud9.
I think Valen got the same kill on Oxy when they did that with a TP from Vanity towards the other side of the orb. Here on shore. Just a little clear and back up. So G2's kind of reading that C9 or the first few moves are the gentleman's agreement. We're going to do this, the one way, the smoke, the play. G2's just trying to stick a foot in the door wherever they can. Nice turret detection here towards B, and the rotation comes in from G2.
Again, that's the troubles here, having no smokes towards that spawn. The updraws towards the air gets backstabbed there by Trent, and the rest of the buy doesn't work out here for Cloud9. Can't pass through the market side, and G2 are now at map and series point.
And an elimination here for C9. To look at what could happen after this, they have such a good roll to start off the second half. A few rounds, bonus goes away, but they collect after the bonus. So no, G2 again slows it down. The timeouts coming in from Josh are impeccable right now for this squad, and now they put themselves on game point, series point. Incredible stuff. In a sense, starts to trend their way as their map pick. They seem so comfortable. Double Odin, triple Vandal on round 24 here. Spamming through the wall already from both sides on B, and they're ready to just put up flashes at A.
And not too much for Cloud9. Best thing they have is the Seekers to try to create the space now for the team.
I've got your track.
Scraping for a buy. Bulldogs and Vandals. The dash forward right into the molly. Icy's not afraid. Gets wallbanged across by Moose. An opportunity for Cloud9 to push us into overtime. If not, the dreams are gone. Walls now coming through on the attack, forcing G2 to just stay behind for a bit. Jonah P looking for some pressure in the front of that A side. Smoke now on the attack, also to allow Vanity to TP back and give a chance here for Cloud9 to push inside this A site. Valen though with 2 picks from the back as Oxy and the rest of Cloud9 are entering inside A. Wall now, door now broken. It's not clear. 2 kills out for Cloud9. Up to Valen alone. There's that first pick. 8 bullets left. The dog being pushed forward as they spot him. Vanity with the Odin cannot get the spray. A topper from Zeppa. A high-low. And Zeppa gets the pick. And we're going into extra innings.
Wow. Incredible stuff for C9 to pull that out there.
Overtime.
G2 not being able to defend the last few members of C9 in sight, doing enough damage. What a scrappy round here for VALORANT to start off. And then this fight, just...
I thought I saw Vanity just run out and get a knife shot there right into hell.
I wouldn't doubt it at this point. It is mayhem in A site. That's basically where we've seen a lot of the action, a few rounds going back towards B, but A has been the playground so far for these two teams as we do hop into overtime. C9 switching back onto defense, G2 back on attack. We get our full buys, no operators to come out here. So we're gonna see what teams can do as G2 wants that full force going forward. They've played the two towards mid before here with Icy and Leaf. They bunker down on that left side once they get through the archway, and the team just rotates back and forth waiting for the correct audio call. But C9 was not this proactive before, and they back off actually. They don't hold that B main control, which would have been pretty important.
Yeah, it's actually a good call here that C9's win con when they were playing this defensive half was Oxy picked up this operator, and this time going with a Vandal and armor, moving across the site. And as the L drone gets heard into B main, Oxy's pivoting back here with Moose in the back of the B side. Dash now activated. G2 trying to split inside this B side. Icy and Leaf getting openers now. Watching the flanks. Zeppa cannot find the timing to help anything for Oxy. So you're hoping for him to go nuclear and he can't. Zeppa though gets traded out and Rooney is too late to come back to assist his teammates. Stuck now on a 1 versus 3 as Trent gets that plant. Orb now up. Jonah waiting by the logs. And G2 are back at map and series point.
Slowing it down a little bit, just like on Lotus. If G2 slows the round down, they get back and forth rotations out of C9, and C9 want to be at the right place at the right time, and it's actually costing them just being in flow from one site to the other, and they find themselves turning around or not being on that line they need for util to delay. All right, now we're back on defense. C9 get the chance to attack where they've definitely seemed more comfortable with this composition and the communication they're using. And we're going to get a quick timeout as Emmy wants it right away to instill some info to the team.
Yeah, it almost looks like at this point here, the comp that you have coming out from Cloud9 is using Vanity's paranoia to create that space for Ox to get in, while that Sky Flash is usually for the other players trailing behind. And activating Moose on that late lurk, and that timeout is going to be very important because that round where they pivot a little bit more quickly, they had help from Seekers on top of that to really capitalize on that brawl in that round number 24, and this time they don't have it. So how can you tempo in that same way without those Seekers if you want to continue to move as quickly on the attack side here for Cloud9?
The thing is tough. You follow the paranoia. We can follow the Skydog. Skydog becomes a little more difficult because when you're clearing B main and then there's still a giant shot from spawn if it's not smoked. If you clear tree, you can still get hit from A or top of tree. So you really have to be behind the dog with a bit more util or members if you're going to be using it to get in and not just play a ruse on the site. Looking at how they do it here, tiles and B main as a focus for C9. And a good focus from G2 towards that left side of the map. No operator on either side again. The Odins ring out to start us off. Spike towards mid here. Could get in a scary spot, but it is protected.
Icy was looking to peek out too, almost out of timing. And now as the jig is up, there's the initiation engagement for Cloud9. They're looking for a split into the B side as well. Paranoia comes through. There's finally that smoke. It's a poison orb out. And there's mollies and nanoswarms actually preventing G2 from moving out. But there's a double nanoswarm on the whole side of the lane. As G2 finally has an opportunity to fight back as the smoke comes down. Moose answers back. And it's an Odin and Vettel mirror match.
Spike planted.
Sprayed by Trent towards that spawn. From the spawn into the B main as the spike's planted inside the B site. Underhand flashes galore. Oh no! The try by
Odin! What in the world? The fadeaway flashed Odin. Just stepping backwards and he finds the frag. Incredible stuff here. Any other gun, I think Moose would have been going down, but he stays strong. Zeppa gets the kill on the other side, and we're going another extra inning on this one. The Odins, it is just literally everywhere.
What a ridiculous kill.
Just... oh my word. All right. Icy at 25 and 16 on G2 side right now. Absolutely slapping on that. Duelist, he's feeling good. Front of this play already as they start moving up towards tree. It's going to be this play again where they have the dart come over from Trent as they start to make their moves ASAP. God, neither team is delaying now, Vancilius. Just go faster and faster.
Dangerous positions here, both from Oxy and from Moose. High-low, but staying tucked in at hell and at heaven. Now, as you're scaling up here towards the generator, the crosshair set up here for the pick, but it's Icy that opens it up, and those two positions get fully denied from the pathing that G2 had towards the generator. Runen catching one, but then gets traded out by Valen. Zeppa, no opportunity to catch some players on a reposition off the post plan, shooting behind two players. In between two players towards the hell, and that's it. Another advantage in series for G2.
Ease. Faster and faster until the thrill of speed overcomes the fear of death. That's what they're doing. It's continuously going pedal to the metal here. All right. So they go in. I think the over-under, the elevation shot they had there was a little disjointed. They didn't have the exact peak with each other, so it really just fizzled out to a 1v1 and then another v1. Leaf very happy to see this coming around for the team. 14-13 here as we get into the next one. Whereas C9 going a little bit of a lurk from Rooney, but they focus towards A to start. This is the round of Vanity. Hit Oxy right in the face as they try to get through that smoke. So C9 already with a bit more space here to get Zeppa online in these Seekers. Rooney didn't see anything, so already pulls that lurk back towards the right side. They want full capacity here if they're hitting the site. And again, it's going to come down to the default. You got a flash over Oxy, dashing into smoke, breaking crosshairs. It's been working for him. Why not?
Thing is, right now the dog is coming through. Actually, there's no fragment that's being thrown here on the defense. So we're going to use that potentially here for the retake for G2.
Yep.
Plant for A main. Zeppa with one last kill will get Seekers after this. All of G2 at the ready to retake this site. Early Paranoia comes out here from the garden. Flashes out to counter out from Zeppa, as there's a stalemate for now. Zeppa now out of util, denied here by the knife being thrown. Just trying to run that clock down as his teammates unfortunately are falling down towards the A main. Double hell setup at the same time. Moose trying to fight back towards the tree. There's that smoke, the double drop. It might be it right here. Vanity, Moose left alone. Stuck onto the spike. Halfway through, picked off, and G2 with the pick on the rise as they move forward into stage 1 playoffs.
Incredible play throughout the series from the young team in G2. We talked about it, as Josh said, coming in here. He's excited that the squad gets to play in playoffs. We expect to go as far as we can. We'll push to go far, but he's really happy that the team gets to experience this. And you know what? They took a hold of that experience and they owned it. They came out so strong today. Icy playing his own game, not being put down in any aspect or manner. Trent popping off on the first map to really get the team going. And just all around balance calling in this series was incredible to avoid C9. And if it was to avoid Oxy, man, A+. A++.
It was definitely a big test here for G2 going into the playoffs as well, right? Going into this last minute roster change into stage 2, bringing Icy in. And when at the desk they were talking about, hey, are G2 the gatekeepers right now of the league for the Americas? As they squeaked through the playoffs right now, and they needed a big win with a lot of confidence against a team like G2 to kickstart a great start here in the playoffs of stage 1. And to do so, they have a tough opponent coming up, but overall, though, you're still quite happy of how, as you mentioned here, Rib, the calls were so good for G2 on that first map.
Really not. I mean, for Valen, too, when you got Icy going 8 first bloods, it becomes a little easier when you get to call the audibles on the 5v4 man up. But still, when they were man down, when they had to change the pace of the game or slow it down in their favor, I think one of the biggest things we saw them being able to do was continuously wait on the round. And then, like clockwork, C9 would rotate off a site and G2 would take the site. Honestly, they just had such a read into the playbook of C9 this way around. And I think teams are going to be looking at G2 to see how they did that and what they can do to beat G2 Esports on the next time around.
Very well done for G2 so far, but at least for Cloud9 is also the time to say goodbye to that team as well. A team that also went through some roster changes at the beginning of the stage 2, bringing in Vanity, bringing in Rooney, also bringing in Moose as well to just start things off here in the year of 2024, and it looked pretty decent. Yes, they had some slow starts. It was shaky. They did get some good results here going into this stage, but unfortunately now they'll have to fall and watch this from the sidelines as the rest move forward and over to Shanghai.
I think one of the things that resonates for me was Zix's comment that when they played against C9 and they kind of read him that the util use wasn't connected, it wasn't there. They were able to get around a lot of those instances to make sure they won the game, and I think that's where a lot of teams found a place to punish Cloud9.
Well, GG now to Cloud9 and to G2 as G2 move forward, but let's toss it down now to Liz, who's ready for the Verizon post-match interview.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Well, class was in session with Professor Jonah P, everyone, of G2. An incredible performance. Yes, scream it, Valen. You were talking to me before we went live right now. You said that was a very stressful game.
Yeah, well, for me personally, I had a rough last match, and, you know, just the stakes of this game, it's just very important. You know, we have high standards for ourselves and for the fans and the org, so just nice to get the win.
I talked to Josh RT, your coach, after map 1, and he said one of the biggest things that you guys worked on after your Icebox loss last game was your communication.
Yeah.
Talk about that to me.
I think when the pressure's high and like rounds are going crazy, like everyone just starts talking, and it's just like it's too many ideas, too many plans. One person says do this, do that, and it's just a cluster in the comms, and it looks terrible on film. So it's one thing this week we focused on, and, you know, it was a lot better today.
Next question for you is that they were talking about kind of the brutality of this format. I said it when I was introducing you, it is do or die. You talk about that pressure. The pressure is on. Josh RT said that he expects you guys to go far, that you want to do well. How do you feel right now in your current form?
You know, I said to my guys after we lost to Loud the other day, like, we have a theme of winning a game, losing a game, winning. And, you know, I was like, we're going to beat Cloud9 no matter what. Like, I just know it. So just going into the crew, we just have to keep this momentum going and just, you know, keep focusing on our micro comms like what we practiced all week today. And if we keep that the same, we'll be fine.
Do you still think you have to work on that communication moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, even today, it was like, it's easy. It's a lot easier for us to recognize when it's happening because we've talked about it and we've, you know, we watch back our voice comm videos and stuff like that. So when we feel like it's happening, you know, people, me, anyone on the team will just, you know, bring it up, be like, yo, chill, just remember what we talked about, and yeah, we're good.
The last international event you/the guard qualified for was Reykjavik in 2022. Obviously, you won Ascension in Sao Paulo last year. What would it mean for you to qualify for your next international event in 2 years? And those are 2 long years as well.
It would mean the world to me, especially for me. Like, I get to do it with Valen and Trent again. So it would mean the world to us to bring Icy his rookie year. He deserves it. He had played insane on Ascent. And yeah, I just can't wait. You know, I wouldn't say our matches are easy, but I think our side of the bracket, it's pretty favorable for us. So looking forward to it.
Well, favorable side of the bracket for you, according to you, and let's see it happen. Thank you so much, Jonah P. Everyone give it up one more time for Jonah P. We're going to take a break, but stay right there because it's 100 Thieves versus Loud next.
Look what I've just made. The perfect pearl.
Not too bad, but check this out.
Whoa, a true Venus clam.
Red Bull gives you wings.